state championship, Nate.
Looks like it's going to be an exciting year for us
It's going
then.
to be a very exciting game, especially with these two teams coming in at 2-1. Very evenly matched game.
It's going to be a good way to start off the season. First couple weeks, still going strong. Let's hope we can keep it up.
Let's hope so.
Jameson. Senior number 21, Jimmy Neal. And to line up this evening, freshman Hunter Peary. The head coach of the Valor Eagles is Mr. Brian Schultz. Welcome to Friday Night Soccer at Valor Stadium.
Welcome to Friday Night Football here at Valor Christian Stadium. I'm looking forward to getting this match started.
Me too, Nate. It's going to be a very evenly matched game. It's going to be a game that probably will come down to the wire with these two very evenly matched teams with some great ball handling and some great defense from both teams.
Well, we can only hope so. Nothing better than an exciting game.
Nothing better at all, especially from a very good soccer team that will hopefully have a very good season this year.
All right, so what do you think Coach Schultz is telling these kids in the huddle right now? What do you think he's telling his players?
Personally, I played soccer last year. He's probably telling them the same thing he told me. Just go out, play hard no matter what happens. Just keep the same intensity the whole game. Always play for God because that's what we do here at Valor Christian High School. We always want to play to honor Him. We never want to take down the other team. We always want to build both us as well as the other team up while still being able to come out with a win.
Test mic check 3.
Once again, I'm Nate Stein. I'm here with Matt Whalen, and on the third mic, he will be down on the field soon. We have Garrett Baggett, also known as the French Roll.
George Washington is getting very fired up for this game.
I can only imagine what the energy's like in that huddle. I'm sure everybody's just wired right now.
I can feel it up
crazy.
here, Nate. This is going to be a really good game.
I'm looking forward to it.
The two forwards starting this year for Valor Christian High School is going to be number 20, Spencer Jarrison, Paul Grizzle, Colton Corey, number 7, and Carson Temby.
Rounding out the rest of the starting lineup, we have number 21, Jimmy Neal. We have Roby Bodie out there. We have Jonathan Sands. In goal, as always, we have Connor Georgopoulos.
And here's the start of the game. Valor Christian with the ball.
Looks like right now they're just trying to get a feel for how George Washington's going to be playing this game. Just taking it back, taking it nice and slow so far.
Nice pass to the outside. Valor Christian comes up with the ball in the middle.
They're really just doing a lot of quick passes right now. I'm guessing that's part of their strategy. Just try to get George Washington's defense spread out so they can get some room to work.
Trying to tire him out, get him spread out so they can cut through the middle and take a shot on goal.
That's what it's looking like so far.
They're doing a very good job of moving the ball so George Washington can catch up to it. That ball's going to be out on George Washington.
Colton Corey with the throw-in. Puts it out into the middle for Captain Carson Temby.
Passes it back to Connor Georgopoulos.
Let's see if they can mount an attack starting from the very end.
Very good ball movement by Adam Giedig.
It's a lot of very good foot skills right there. Great communication. He had a man on Carson Temby, but everybody on the field told him, so he knew it.
Pass to Blake Hillis.
They're cutting through.
Colton takes it back.
Great control by Colton Corey.
Great
There's
through ball.
He gets it outside.
He's going to try for the cross. Puts it in the middle.
Looks like a slight miscommunication there between Captain Carson Temby.
Here's a
and Blake
breakaway
Hillis.
for George Washington. Let's hope Valor Christian can stop this.
Very quick, Roby Bodie, number
Great
9,
stop by
hustling
Jimmy
back on
Neal.
defense to give Jimmy Neal some help. Great defensive play right there.
Jimmy puts it out. Very smart play so George Washington can't mount an attack on goal.
George Washington with the throw-in. Let's see what they're trying to do with it right here.
George Washington controls it on the outside.
Pass
right to the Valor player.
Intercepted by number 15, Paul Grizzle.
Carson Temby with the ball. Great through ball to Spencer Jarrison. Like we said, one of the great players, one to watch to this game.
And again, just a lot of great controlled passes, a lot of one-touches. They're really just trying to spread out George Washington's defense right now and see if they can get some room to work.
Jimmy Neal taking it up. Pass it to the middle to junior Blake Hillis. Great ball handling, not letting George Washington get too close to the ball where they can control it.
One thing I am noticing, though, is George Washington is playing very aggressive defense even before Valor gets the ball over midfield. They're pushing their forwards a lot to play defense. I'm not sure if Coach Schultz saw that in the scouting report or expected that.
George Washington with the ball now down the left side of the field.
Put a through ball into number 10, Pitt Shea, but is easily corralled by goalie junior Connor Georgopoulos.
Carson Temby with the great ball handling skills.
Getting some fancy feet right there.
He's one of the best players on this Valor Christian team. He's a very good leader, as Coach Schultz told us earlier.
Can definitely see out there just through his body language and through his attitude out on the field just so early in the game that is that confidence that Coach Schultz was talking about.
This has been a very Valor-controlled game thus far in the first few minutes here.
Yeah, Valor's definitely keeping a lot of the possession. I'd say it's about 70-30 right now in favor of Valor Christian.
Hopefully they can keep that going. That gives them a very good opportunity to score, but George Washington now with the breakaway.
Pitt Shea, I feel like I've already called his name a lot. Ooh, goal for George Washington. That is number 10, Pitt Shea. He is a junior.
That is an early start for George Washington. Hopefully Valor Christian can recover from that very quickly.
George Washington goal scored by number 10, Pitt Shea.
That was all due to the great hustle by the two forwards for George Washington.
Yeah, the fast feet of Pitt Shea, in addition to that fantastic through ball, just opened the forwards right up for a goal.
Split the defenders very easily, and Connor Georgopoulos had very little chance of defending that.
The kickoff is brought back to Colton Corey. He pushes it outside to Adam Gietig. Let's see if they can mount an attack from outside in.
Continuing with the very good ball handling skills that they've displayed very early here.
Jonathan Sands took a look around the field, decided to just play a short little ball down to Roby Bodie on the near sideline.
This is great play by the Valor forwards and midfielders. They're hustling very well, not letting Green Mountain, not letting George Washington get any control of the ball.
They're really controlling the ball very well and being very careful with their passes. But
another breakaway.
Ill-advised pass right there. And that is shot high and wide to the right side.
That was a very poor decision on the shot. They had a very clear breakaway. Instead of taking a 35 shot, I think they personally should have dribbled it up a little further.
Decided to play a short goal kick down to the near sideline to Roby Bodie, who then puts it back to the middle to senior captain Carson Temby.
Back to Jonathan Sands, one of the best ball handlers on the team. Best legs, too, as you can see right there.
Spencer Jameson lost the ball a little bit after it went off the head of both him and the George Washington player. Let's see if they can recover from that.
Paul Grizzle with the very athletic play to recover that ball.
Yeah, he's just got great control out there, and he's really showing that. Here comes Pitt Shea again. Great play by Jonathan Sands to clear that out.
Displaying the great ball handling skills as we've talked about very many times already this game.
And there will be a call. It looks to be Valor Christian ball with a free kick from...
Oh, very quick play on the free kick, trying to get them ahead of the George Washington team.
Coach Schultz,
all right,
down
now
here,
we're going to send it down to Garrett Baggett
on the
French
field
roll.
to move with a purpose, move with intention, move fast and clean.
All right, thank you, Garrett. As you can see, there's definitely a different angle from down there, so he's going to be giving you a little different view than what we're giving you from up here in the box.
Corner kick for the Valor Christian Eagles. Hopefully they can capitalize on this.
Looks like Coach Schultz is having senior captain Carson Temby put this into play. Let's see what they can do to this. Looks like a lot of the players are lining up on the far post, so I think he's just going to try to throw it in there and get a touch on it.
Valor Christian practices this very much in their practices, so expect a very pretty play here.
The ball's up. Just short off the near post,
recovered.
But Valor does take possession.
Another cross.
And that's a goal by Carson Bodie. Fantastic play.
Great play by Roby. Great cross by Carson. Great recovery after that. Misplayed corner kick.
After placing one right off the front post, incredible recovery to get that ball back out to Carson, and then he put it in, and Roby Bodie was in the right place at the right time.
And boy, Nate, that's a great job of jumping back immediately after George Washington scores. They come back and deliver with a goal of their very own.
That just shows the fight of this Valor Christian team.
They're a very competitive bunch. They obviously don't like to lose. They are playing very hard this game. Hopefully they can keep controlling the ball as they were earlier.
Does anybody like to lose, Matt?
I can't say that anybody does.
Valor Christian takes possession. Roby Bodie will take this throw in. That's out of bounds. It will be George Washington ball. Captain Luis Ruiz will take the throw in. Scratch that. It will be number 4, Curtis Guile.
Jonathan Sands puts it out.
And looks like number 10, Pitt Shea, will take the throw in for George Washington this time around.
Great recovery by Pitt Shea. Almost an out-of-bounds play by George Washington, which would have given Valor the ball, but he did a great job of keeping that in.
Spencer Jameson is really getting his nose in the ball right now. He is getting inside the action.
That was a great job by Valor putting pressure on the attacking George Washington team, forcing them to put it out of bounds.
Played up forward to Paul Grizzle, who then plays it back to Carson Temby. Let's see if they can mount an attack from the defense.
Very physical play by Colton Corey to come up with that ball. His through ball is stuffed by number 6 for George Washington.
He wisely pulls it out and slows down the defense. Then
Here's
Carson
another
Temby
through
with
ball.
a through ball.
Gabe Krasinski, shot on goal.
Oh, just wide left.
Goal kick to the Patriots.
It will now be a goal kick by Patriots goalie number 0, Brian Flores.
Very high header. Valor Christian brings it down, kicks it immediately to George Washington.
George Washington takes possession on the sideline, plays it in the middle to Pitt Shea. He has been all around the ball today, just right in the middle of the action.
George Washington has a very different play style than Valor Christian, attacking early, trying to get the ball upfield very quickly as opposed to Valor, who tries to spread out the defense as opposed to taking up the field quickly.
And that was Spencer Jameson with the burst of speed to reach the ball, but just could not retain possession before it bounced out of bounds. Roby Bodie playing some very physical defense on George Washington captain Luis Ruiz. It will be a throw-in for Valor Christian.
Thrown by Jonathan Sands, throws it immediately out of bounds.
George Washington will take over possession on the near sideline.
Valor Christian attacking. Colton Corey with the slight breakaway.
They have some momentum. Let's see what they can do
through
with
ball. Takes it to the outside.
Cuts it back in. Oh, fantastic
Stopped.
defensive effort by George Washington.
Hey, puts it back in the middle of the field.
Paul Grizzle tracking on
Offsides.
it. Such a close call. Could have gone either way.
Offsides on the Eagles. Free kick to the Patriots.
I'm surprised their goalie is not taking this free kick because it is said that he has a very good leg and has very high and long free kicks.
Yeah, that is surprising. Nothing like what the scouting report said. Usually those are right on point.
He's pointing.
All right,
George.
now we're going to send it down to Garrett Baggett, the French roll. Garrett?
Schultz is saying to shut up. Schultz is saying to move them around and wear them out, so use their speed and quickness to their advantage.
Valor Christian with the ball. Back to the back left to Roby Bodie.
He
The
plays
left
it to the
back.
near sideline to Spencer Jameson.
That was very close to being out of bounds. Very good
Spencer
job.
puts on a burst of speed to get around defender William Murphy.
Through ball to Paul Grizzle.
Just passes on the outside
George
of him, but
Washington
Spencer will retain possession.
Puts a shot on goal. Goalie comes up with a great dig.
Strong angle taken by the goalie there to take over possession and not let
Great
it go.
header by Blake. It's going to be George Washington ball on the far side of the field.
Number 6, Daniel Lopez, will take the throw-in. Let's see if George Washington sticks their aggressive style and tries to get an attack on right away.
Looks like they are, but Colton Corey tries to stop it with the header. Doesn't get it, but recovers very quickly. Puts a pass up to Jamison.
Played up to number 12 for Valor. He's taking it down the sideline.
Great touch to the outside.
It's crossed in.
Another
Again,
offsides on Paul
is just
Grizzle.
caught offside. He is very upset with himself on that one. I think he disagrees with that call.
The offside call will favor the Patriots.
Although those are just basically like an Xbox. Oh, really? Yeah, because they're cheaper, and so Gomez went with those. And so
Jonathan Sands misses the header on purpose to give the ball to Connor Georgopoulos,
goal
who has a
kick-
very great leg, but will instead throw it to Captain Carson Temby.
That goal kick went the length of the field and was easily corralled by Connor Georgopoulos.
Carson Temby taking it upfield. Pass through the middle of Paul Grizzle,
Paul Grizzle takes it.
who puts it to
Great ball,
Jamison.
Spencer Jamison. He has an open field
Another
ahead of him.
offsides call. This rep is very offsides happy, but that one was a little more obvious than the other ones. And a very quick play by George Washington to kick it downfield. Very, very attack-oriented team in George Washington.
And on another goal kick, the leg of George Washington just sends it all the way down the field, and Connor Georgopoulos easily corrals it.
Connor Georgopoulos decides to punt, show off his leg.
He puts that well past midfield. That's
Gabe
played in the
Krasinski.
middle.
George Washington quickly taking up the field to the outside.
Ishmael Marbuka taking it down the far sideline. That play is interrupted.
Very aggressive play, but he is called for the penalty. It is a George Washington free kick.
Free kick from just over midfield. Let's see what they can do with this one.
The legs on these George Washington players are very great. They have put the ball very far every single time. And that is out of bounds on Valor Christian.
Will be another throw-in for George Washington. Slightly closer this time. Let's see if they can get any better of attack.
Colton Corey with the great header.
Great defensive play there.
Out of bounds
But
again.
Out of bounds and another throw-in.
That's great defense by Valor Christian, making sure they can't mount an attack.
Not letting them get any room at all down there.
Especially being very close to the goal as they are right now. They don't want to give them anything. And a great out.
Very strong clear by the defense there.
Spencer Jamison on defense here. Pressuring the ball carrier. Wins it.
Two of the better players were going against each other in that free ball right there. Pitting Spencer Jamison from Valor Christian against the captain, Luis Ruiz. from
Roby
George
Bodie
Washington.
lobs it to the middle of the field to senior captain Carson Temby, who then puts it out of bounds.
Puts it a little bit too far for that ball. Looks as if we have a couple players warming up on the George Washington sideline. Looks to be number 16, Dante Segura, number 14, Matt Garcia, and number 17, Max Piper.
A ball down the right side of the field. Looks like George Washington's going to get there before the Valor Christian player can.
Goes just into the side of the goalkeeper's box, and he will take it.
Valor Christian is putting a little bit too much leg behind these through passes. Great job by Colton to get ahead on that ball.
Colton has been all over the place on defense. He's been interrupting all of George Washington's
He's been all over
plays
the
and
place
has
in
not
general.
let them get anything started.
He's been everywhere in general. He's been on goal multiple times. Very athletic play by Jamison.
Spencer Jameson fighting for position there, but he does fall down, and that will be a free
He
kick for
draws the
Valor
penalty.
just outside of the box.
Great job drawing the penalty there for the free kick just outside of the 18.
Let's see what Valor Christian tries to do with this one.
Let's see if they can capitalize here on this very similar play as their corner kick.
Looks as if Carson Temby will be taking this ball just like he took the corner kick. Let's see if this one can have the same great result of a goal.
Shot on goal.
and
Oh, a
that just
header
goes
off
off
the
the
post.
Fantastic.
Very
opportunity.
great play by Valor Christian. Very tough, athletic play, but an unfortunate turn of events by the ball going off the post of the goal.
Such an unlucky turn of events right there.
George Washington controlling the ball in their half. It's going to be out on George Washington. Valor Christian with the throw-in.
Let's see if they can mount an attack here. It's thrown in directly to Carson Temby, who then puts it straight back out. They're kicking it back to the defense. That seems to be a strategy of Valor Christian. They're trying to start attacks from the defensive end.
They're trying to spread out the defense so they can mount an attack through the middle of the field. Back to Connor Georgopoulos, who then puts it out to Roby Bodie.
Back to the middle.
And out to the outside again.
Roby Bodie will be touching the ball a lot on these set plays, it looks
that
like.
looks to be out on
George
with
Washington.
the right call.
It will be a Valor Christian throw-in right here. Roby Bodie.
Oh,
Scratch that. It's a free kick. Let's see if Valor can mount an attack here. Jonathan Sands will start it off.
great leg by Jonathan Sands. Pushed on the left side to Jamison. That looks to be out. What's the call?
And they will call
Out
in
on
favor
Valor
of George
Christian.
Washington. They will get a throw-in. See, I'm not quite sure about that. It looked as if the George Washington player did tip it right before it went out of bounds.
I agree, but I don't think the ref had a very good angle on that. The call could have gone either way, Nate.
Really could have.
George Washington with a throw-in. Immediately gets it to the middle of the field.
In addition to the George Washington players warming up on the sideline, we have number 21, Drew Thompson, who just joined the bunch.
Great hard play by Jamison. They're mounting an attack. No offsides call, but the shot on goal is wide left.
Wide left off the foot of Pitt Shea. He has had so many fantastic opportunities in this game. He is all over the place.
Connor Georgopoulos is going to take the goal kick here. Let's see if Valor Christian can mount an attack here.
Connor Georgopoulos will take the goal kick. Let's see what he does with it here.
Great leg by Connor Georgopoulos. Puts that one around midfield.
Pretty much right on midfield. There will be a call.
A call
In favor of Valor
on
Christian. Valor Christian
George
will have
Washington.
a free kick from just under midfield.
They're trying to mount a quick attack, but the ref called it back to a certain spot.
Jonathan Sands will be taking the free kick here. Looks like they're lining all the midfielders and forwards are lining up just outside the goalie's box.
They're trying to mount an attack here.
It's like a boxing thing.
Jonathan Sands puts it into the box.
De La Hoya. De La Hoya.
Money Mayweather.
George Washington's ball here. Free kick for George Washington from their 18.
Starting just inside the box.
Free kick.
Penalty call here on George Washington in favor of the Valor Christian Eagles. Jonathan Sands will take it from around the 33-yard line.
Free kick back to the Eagles.
Quickly put it in the middle to Colton Corey. And outside.
Played outside to Adam Giedig. And that looked like a handball to me, and a handball it is.
They
will
did
get
call,
that
and they
call.
quickly played it.
Colton Corey puts it in the
middle.
box.
Drop ball by the goalie, but he recovers very quickly.
That could have been fatal for George Washington and a real momentum swinger in favor of Valor.
It says in the scouting report that the goalkeeper has very weak hands and tends to drop a lot of the balls that are hit to him.
That would explain why the Valor Christian players were so fast in getting into the box. They had seen that coming.
It's a great out by Jonathan Sands. And that's going to be out on George Washington.
Daniel Lopez with an interesting play there. Instead of attempting to play it back into the middle, He will just send it out of bounds and let Valor Christian take over. Now we're going to send it back down to the French roll. Garrett?
Valor Christian has taken full advantage of the width of the field and their speed by sending long balls to the strikers Spencer Jameson and Paul Grizzle. The electricity in the atmosphere is very high.
And we're back up here in the booth. A ball to the goalkeeper, which is a very risky play considering there's a Valor attacksman very close to the goalie. George Washington now mounting an attack up the middle.
Number 12, Ishmael Marbuka is mounting that attack, and he's taking it back into the middle. Fantastic cutback. Oh, and
Off the crossbar, and Connor Georgopoulos
and they call
it
that a goal.
in. They call that a goal for the George Washington Patriots. I am not quite sure what happened there, Nate. I am not quite sure what the call is on this one. That is a very interesting call. That hit off the crossbar. I am confused. Do you have any idea what happened, Nate?
From my angle up here in the booth, it looked as if the ball went off the crossbar and straight down and even a little bit farther out of the box. I am honestly very confused about this call.
I am awestruck right now. That could be a very important goal for George Washington in this what looks to be a very good game.
That is a vital play.
That is a very interesting play.
Number 17, Max Piper.
Garrett, we're going to send it down to you just so we can see what happened.
A very questionable call out here on the field. It seemed like it hit the top of the crossbar, but the referee said it went in.
Back up here in the booth, Valor Christian still mounting an attack. They're going to try and recover from that George Washington goal very quickly here because they really need it after that very interesting call by the referees.
And in regards to that last goal, we are getting verification up here in the booth because we have access to instant replay that ball did not seem to cross the plane. It looked as if it bounced straight off the crossbar and out.
That could be a very big game changer in a very close game, especially in a game of one goal.
Very crucial call right there.
They called a handball on Jimmy Neal, which it was a handball, but very interesting call considering he didn't have the opportunity to get out of the way.
That's one of those really subjective calls in soccer. They could really go either way. You kick into somebody's arm, they might call a handball, they might not.
Let's hope Valor can stop this attack while they are on the 20-yard line.
Hey, all right, we're going to try and get a conversation going between you two.
And that ball goes through the uprights.
Is that 3 points for George Washington right there?
I don't think it is, Nate.
That's too bad.
To the Eagles.
It went through the field goal. It was a joke. Sorry, I thought I wasn't funny.
Pass out to Roby Bodie, the left back for Valor Christian High School. Puts it up in the middle to Blake Hillis.
That is a great defensive play by George Washington, number 3, Rodrigo Bayo. And again, Valor Christian is attempting to start their offensive attack from the defensive zone.
George Washington mounting an attack, but Connor Georgopoulos with a great job of trying to kick it out. George Washington recovers the ball, though. Very great ball headed. That looks to be offsides, but they are not calling that. Jameson with the header to Paul Grizzle, who then tries to take it upfield. Very great defense, very aggressive defense by George Washington. Paul with the very aggressive play to try and maintain possession of the ball, but loses it to number 2 of George Washington. And that's going to be out of bounds on Valor Christian.
You can really tell why Coach Schultz chose Paul Grizzle as one of the captains, even though he is only a junior. He's so feisty out there and so aggressive. His energy is invigorating.
He has what Coach Schultz likes to call a fire for the game, a passion, if you will. Great through ball. Jameson with the ball inside the box.
He stops it up.
Very hard defense by George Washington Patriots right now.
Just swarming defense right there. Spencer Jameson had absolutely no room to move once he got into their zone.
And Jonathan Sands tries to keep the attack on, but unfortunately kicks out of bounds.
Thrown in by number 4, Curtis Guile for George Washington.
Very great throw in. Colton Corey heads it out of bounds on a premature call by the ref, though.
And it will be another George Washington throw in, this time Pitt Shea.
Shot on goal. Connor Georgopoulos with the great hands to save that one.
Playing the angle
He
very well.
throws it
on
in
that
the
one.
middle to Colton Corey, who is wide open, hoping the Mountain attack very quickly here with Valor Christian down 2-1 with not very much time remaining in the first half. That is a very flagrant penalty on George Washington.
I believe there will be a card on this. The ref seems to be running over.
That is a yellow card.
Yes, that is a yellow card on number 2, William Murphy for George Washington.
That was unfortunate, too, because Valor Christian was mounting an attack with very few defenders on the George Washington side and quite a few attackers.
So
for
in a
Valor
way, you
Christian.
could say that was a smart penalty by George Washington because
is-
there's no immediate penalty, so to speak, because William Murphy does not have to leave the game because it's only a yellow card,
If I were to make a comparison, it's like a breakaway foul in basketball.
which is why the NBA just recently changed the rule. So there are those clear path fouls.
Fair enough. Jonathan Sands with the free kick, puts it in the box. George Washington heads it out, but Carson Temby recovers it, puts a shot on, but it's very wide right.
Goal kick to the Patriots.
Just off the head of number 17, Gabe Krasuski.
Lineup for the Patriots.
Brian Flores with the goal kick here.
Murphy.
He's actually not going to take the goal kick. Number 5?
I believe that is number 5, Gabe Torres,
I
taking the
believe
goal
so.
kick for George Washington.
Very interesting, especially considering that the scouting report says that he has a very good leg. The goalie.
Colton Corey had gotten a touch on that from the goal kick, then is sent out of bounds by Adam Giedig.
George Washington with the throw-in. And it looks like they're going to be mounting an attack here.
Then an attack straight from the middle.
Shot on goal
about
from
20 yards out.
About 30, actually, Nate.
My mistake.
It's all right.
It is easily corralled by Connor Georgopoulos.
Referee almost gets in the action there.
See, I've never seen that happen before. And I've watched a lot of soccer in my time.
Valor trying to mount an attack here. A very great through ball to Gabe Krasinski. It looked as if the George Washington player was holding on to his arm, but there was no call on the goalie. Brian Flores comes up with that. Here's the punt. A very good punt with the header by, is that Blake Hillis? Valor Christian trying to keep it in the George Washington zone, but George Washington comes up with the ball, and as their play style has shown, they're going to try to attack Valor's defense very quickly.
Valor Christian has had possession of the ball in what seems like a majority of this game, but the scoreboard does not show that. But I believe that that's due to George Washington's aggressive offense.
I completely agree with that because they don't need to hold the ball for a very long time because they take it upfield and put shots on goal very quickly, Nate. This is a prime example right here, a very quick pass to the Valor side by George Washington.
And you can see that when right when George Washington takes possession, even if it's in their own defensive zone, number 10, Pitt Shea, is shooting down the middle.
He's making very many runs for the goal as soon as George Washington gets the ball. And George Washington has very great legs.
Through ball right there. Chased down by Carson Temby, but it will go out of bounds. Valor Christian ball.
As I was saying, George Washington has very great legs on their team that can very easily put the ball from their 20 to Valor's 20 on an attack. Another throw in for Valor Christian in the George Washington zone.
And we up here in the booth, we can hear the student section coming to life with the chants of "Let's go Valor." They really want to see this team come back.
A very good job by George Washington to put that ball out of play, and you can see them trying to attack very quickly with very few defenders by the Valor on the Valor end.
The ball is played up by Jonathan Sands to Carson Temby,
And that is a handball.
and there will be a handball called on Carson Temby. Now the George Washington seems to be that's their JV soccer team making some noise for their boys.
Oh, another whistle down here on the Valor end. What is the call here? What is... Do you know what's happening, Nate?
I honestly
I think
do not know.
I think there's a substitute trying to enter.
Seems as if there's going to be a substitution. Almost, it looked as if the ref was making George Washington make the substitution.
It does appear to be that way. It looks like number 18, Chris Montgomery, is lining up on the midfield line. Very interesting turn of events that have occurred here.
Yeah, it seems that the ref had stopped time so that he could talk to the George Washington coach about something.
Very good play by Adam Giedig.
Oh, I just gotten news that a fan had run onto the field, and that's why the play was stopped.
He was actually corralled off by the Valor security team. George Washington trying to attack Valor's goal very quickly to get a demanding 3-1 lead. Great out by Jonathan Sands, though, to end the attack on goal.
George Washington very easily sends that back into their own offensive zone.
Quickly attacking.
Stop feeding me broadcast information. I'll yell goal into the PA system next time. All I said was he was staring on the field. I thought you said he was on the field. No, he was staring on the field right down there. They were just asking him to stop.
Blake Hillis with the aggressive ball handling. In the middle of the Carson Temby, which is contested by number, what looks like 19, I apologize, 18, Chris Montgomery.
Colton Corey was given some room to move, but the ball will sail out of bounds.
Oh, I apologize, an out-of-bounds call.
I have news that the police is on there. We have news that the SWAT team has been called to deal with this fan. What did I call it?
Very long time that George Washington is taking for this throw-in. I think they're trying to run time off the clock to not give Valor an opportunity to score here again in this first half.
See, that's not necessarily a great strategy in soccer because they do have the stoppage time at the end of the half.
That is true.
All right, now we're going to send it down to the French roll. Garrett?
The intensity on the field as seems like it's died down, as there hasn't been goals in a while. It's been a back and forth game. It seems like George Washington goes and then Valor goes, and then it's gone a little quiet.
Thank you, Garrett.
Let me respectfully correct my partner here. There is no stoppage time in high school soccer.
My
Great
mistake.
play by Jonathan
Fantastic
Sands.
move by Jonathan
One of the
Sands.
best ball handlers on this team. Another great move by Carson Temby, attempting to keep the ball in bounds. Does a great job, but George Washington comes up with it.
These guys are getting fancy, and George Washington does not know how to handle it.
Great aggressive play by Roby Bodie to shield that ball. Out to one of the best players on the Valor Christian team.
That ball is still in bounds.
That's
Going to stay in. Right on the line in soccer. If
Jonathan
the ball is
Sands
on
with
the
a
line,
great
it
leg.
is in bounds.
Pulled it just a touch to the left. Put it out of bounds. George Washington ball.
That one will not ride the line and stay in bounds.
They don't know how to handle the balls. Oh, that looked a little painful for Blake Hillis.
You can see that was just a stinger. Blake Hillis bent down to see it for a second, then he's back up.
Valor Christian playing the ball back in their end. Connor Georgopoulos
Fantastic
with the
boot by Connor
great
Georgopoulos
leg.
sends it all the way down into the
Gabe
into the
Krasinski,
offensive
one of the
zone.
youngest players on this team who is a sophomore. He's dribbling it up the line, attempting to cross it, puts it over the middle. Great play by the goalie.
Spencer Jameson and Paul Grizzle were in on the box trying to.
Oh, very fancy play
Wow.
by Carson Temby to keep it
That just,
in the
that
George
move just
Washington
left me
end.
speechless.
Breakaway for George Washington seemed to be attacking the Valor Christian goal as often as possible.
And they're really just using their speed to shoot it down the sidelines and even in the middle when there's room.
Great play by Jonathan Sands to stop the attack by putting it out of bounds.
There's just over 6 minutes left in the first half, and if you're just joining us, I'm Nate Stein here with Matt Whalen. Down on the field, we have Garrett Baggett, the French roll. The score is 2-1 in favor of George Washington.
More people than that's announcing. Let's go.
Here's a quick play by Connor Georgopoulos to get it outside to left defensive back, Roby Bodie, who quickly puts it upfield.
We should take wages on who those 3 people are.
Puts it outside to Gabe Krasinski, sophomore forward.
Paul's grandparents. Phyllis family. In Tempe. It's probably Tempe's. It's probably Christian.
Great job spreading out the defense by Valor Christian. Great through ball. Shot on goal, and it's
and
going to be wide,
just wide left.
Where am I getting?
Goal kick to the Patriots.
It looked as if someone was writhing in pain down the field, but I think it was just disappointment on what could have been.
It was Colton Corey down there. That would have been a tough loss for Valor to take because he is one of their senior captains.
Jamison down the left side, his speed quickly taking over. And it's going to be a corner kick for Valor Christian, which is what they capitalized on. On their previous goal. Hopefully they can do it again here, Nate.
Let's see if they change their strategy to going for the front post this time after going for the far post the first time.
I believe that a 0 is called for the back post for Valor Christian High School.
It's called in, but stoppage is called by the refs.
Substitution for the Patriots, returning to the lineup, number 4.
That might be better for Valor Christian because that was a very high, far ball that would not have played very well.
Let's see if Carson Temby can correct himself on this one.
Almost like a do-over here, Nate.
Carson Temby sending it in.
Low front post. What happened on the very first goal or corner kick, for Valor Christian. And George Washington again mounting a very quick attack here.
They have momentum behind them, but Valor Christian does have numbers.
Great job by Jamison trying to stop him, but the ball handling skills by number 2 William Murphy outplayed him.
That ball was just missed a little bit, and it went easily into the box for Connor Georgopoulos to handle.
Just under 4 minutes left here in the first half. Valor Christian is going to try to do as much as possible in order to tie this up by halftime.
But this Valor Christian team is a very strong team. They have strong willpower, so going into the halftime down 1 might not necessarily be a bad thing. They can handle themselves in the second half.
I think they can, and I think that the quick attack by George Washington is starting to take a toll on some of their players.
Somebody in our student section. Hey, Mr. AD, can you go down there and take care of that for us? Where is he? Where is he? I'm pretty sure it's me.
George Washington quickly attacking on goal. A very far shot from about 40 yards out by number 2 William Murphy for George Washington.
Goal kick to the Eagles.
Goal kick for Connor Georgopoulos. Let's see how he decides to play this one.
Very close. He decides to play it to Jonathan Sands, senior captain.
Valor Christian attempting to mount their attack from the defensive zone.
Here comes the heavy.
Time to lay the hammer.
Almost a great ball, but a fantastic defensive play by number 6, Daniel Lopez for George Washington.
Valor Christian ball in the George Washington end. throw-in by Adam Giedig to number 12, Gabe Krasinski, but very great defense by George Washington to stuff that. Very aggressive play by Valor Christian midfielder. Is that Paul Grizzle?
That is Paul Grizzle. That does not
Very
surprise me at all.
feisty. He is
We were
a
talking about
very
this earlier.
feisty
He is a
player.
very aggressive player.
Shot on goal is going to go wide left by Colton Corey.
That could have been an ill-advised shot, but I understand why he took it. He was really trying to give his team some momentum going into halftime.
And Colton has one of the best legs on this team. He is one of the best players for the Valor Christian Eagles.
Blake Hillis has some room to work in the middle. He's taking it out to the far sideline.
He corrals it back to himself, passes it to Adam Giedig, who misplays the ball. Jonathan Sands is going to come up with that ball on the Valor end to try and keep it going towards the attack.
Now we're going to send it down to Garrett, who had some new insight for us. Garrett?
Coach Schultz is really emphasizing attack. He wants to get this game tied up before halftime.
Thank you, Garrett. And that does not surprise me that Coach Schultz wants to be so aggressive right now. I believe that he is trying to do that, one, to wear out the George Washington players even more, and two, to get his own team fired up.
Especially with only a minute left here in the first half. He really wants to end the half with a goal. That'd be great momentum going into the second half for the Valor Christian Eagles. And the ref gets into the play a little bit on that one, touches the ball, helps out Valor Christian a little bit.
Carson Temby doing work in the middle. Colton Corey got some space.
Take it in the middle. Oh, Colton Corey misplays the ball, but there's a shot on goal directly to the goalie, and he corrals that in.
All right, and we are coming down the last 30 seconds of this first half.
Blake Hillis plays the header with only 20 seconds left. Valor Christian's going to do as much as they possibly can to score a goal here.
And Paul Grizzle is starting to become very aggressive, starting to plow through George Washington defenders in order to get that crucial
10
goal
seconds
before
left,
halftime.
out of bounds on Valor Christian. That appears that it's going to be about the end of the half with only 3 seconds left.
George Washington was showing some urgency, but they just wanted to clear the ball out so nobody could do anything.
We're going into the halftime for the game between the Valor Christian Eagles and the George Washington Patriots with a score 2-1, George Washington over Valor Christian.
I'm Nate Stein.
And I'm Matt Whalen.
See you next half.
The Valor Eagles won.
We're going to have Garrett do an interview.
All right.
Now we're going to send it down to Garrett Baggett on the sidelines in a little bit.
What type of adjustments would you like to make going in the second half to get this game back in your hands?
I think the game's been in our hands. We haven't finished our chances. We just need to clean up our defending a little bit. The chances are going to come.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Garrett. Now let's send the teams off to the locker room.
We're back here at Valor Christian for this soccer match between the Valor Christian Eagles and the George Washington Patriots. Big props to the first half crew of Matt Whalen and Nate Stein. Did a great job bringing you the game. This is Landon Troca here with Mitch Whitey. Mitch, what do you think about the first half?
You know, I think we played to our potential. We put up a good fight. The calls might not be going our way, but I'm sure that they'll come out equal in the end, and we'll have a great match on our hands.
Yeah, Valor had a lot of great opportunities in the first half, put a lot of pressure on, possessed the ball well, but George Washington did a good job in the counterattack.
Yes, they did.
So Valor Christian, I believe, will come off with the same lineup they had running the entire first half. So we see all the captains out there, same group of forwards. You can see the speed out of Spencer Jameson. If you had to give Valor something to work on over halftime, if you were Coach Schultz, what would you say?
I'd probably tell them to work more as a team. Stop trying to dribble it all the way down to the end line and then go for the cross. Maybe work some passing. Work it more like basketball style. Keep it outside. Wait for your opponent to make the mistake and capitalize on that mistake.
George Washington in green, Valor Christian in white with the blue shorts. Valor Christian will be working left to right on your screen as we'll see a free kick for George Washington. That's being taken by number 3, Bello.
Free kick to the Patriots.
Excuse me, number 6 is taking that. That's Daniel Lopez. And he'll go across to number 10, Pitt Che. And Valor Christian steals it. That's Roby. Now they're looking to put something together, so they'll go outside to Roby, and he'll try to chase it down, but the pass is too far in front from Grizzle. So that'll be a throw-in for the Patriots of George Washington.
It seems as though they are playing it much like the first half, staying relaxed, waiting for their opponents to run themselves out of their energy, and hopefully capitalizing later on in the half.
We're seeing Josh Floyd in there, the sophomore, for Valor Christian. Neal with it now, the right back. He'll play it up to number 12, Blake Hillis. And Valor Christian continues to control it in the midfield as Roby sends a long chip. But the Patriots control. Now Pitt Che with it, and they're going to try to go with a counter and a little bit of mix-up with him and his own teammate. And now we'll have a foul on Valor Christian, so we'll see another.
Looks like Roby was grabbing the jersey.
That's a long ball in. Oh, and Georgopoulos punches it out.
That is a very tough play for the goalkeepers in this sport. It's very hard to judge whether or not you want to come out on those balls. Lots of people will want to just sit back, wait for the shot, and try to save that. But Connor did a great job there and going out and getting that before the George Washington player even had a chance to put one on goal.
Floyd's going to chip one on, but that'll be easily controlled by the goaltender. That is Brian Flores for the Patriots. 36:44 remaining in the second half. Valor Christian down 2-1. Lights are coming on here in Highlands Ranch as the sun goes down, and we're in for a great half of soccer. Valor Christian controls in the midfield, but it's lost to the defensive line. That's Sammy Rivera. Roby here, but he loses it to the Patriots, and now they'll put something up. Pitt Che running it. And that'll be an attempt at a through ball from number 2, William Murphy. He tried to play it up towards the forwards there for the Patriots, but didn't quite get a good ball on it. It'll be controlled by Georgopoulos, who is now punting with the wind, so that's going to carry all the way to the other 30. So that's a good 60-yard punt there. Oh, great ball there by number 11, Shabani.
Getting a little fancy with their ball handling here.
That'll be an attempt to put it on, but it's tipped, and Georgopoulos gets it and controls it and throws it out to Temby. Stolen there by number 3, Bello. He puts a cross in. That's Marbuka. Oh, now they'll have Sands, and the Georgia Washington's looking for a foul, but there's none called, so we'll continue to play as Floyd pushes up towards Grizzle.
Seems as though the two of them just got a little tangled up in their footwork there. No real foul in front of the box.
Oh, and a little bit of a miscommunication there between Murphy and the midfield. He was trying to play it to his right and up to Pitche, but he stopped his run. So that'll go out harmlessly as Georgiopolis is set to take a goal kick here. Georgiopolis hits it straight at Floyd. That was a low drive. Pitche out to Murphy. Back to Che. Oh, and Grizzle plays it through with his head, but the sweeper Gabe Torres is there for the George Washington Patriots as they play on the far sideline as Floyd gets in. And now we have a counterattack possibility. Jamison down the far side, or the near sideline, excuse me. He'll have to stop his run to go back and get that. Valor Christian continues to control. Jamison plays it back to Temby. Temby will set it up. Temby acts a lot like a point guard here for the Valor Christian Eagles. What did you say, Whitey?
Yeah, he does. You were asking me earlier what I would suggest for the Valor Eagles to work on during halftime, but coming out in the second half, it appears to me that the bigger problem right now is working on their short passes. They seem to be wanting to go for the long ball and starting to play a little more kickball, and this is really their first time having any period of time having the ball down in the George Washington half. So I believe that they need to work on their short game and keep more possession for the rest of the half, and maybe we can have some better results.
Floyd comes off as senior Andrew Dawes comes on, and he'll take the throw in immediately from the far corner. He gets a good throw there, but it's controlled by Flores. Oh, excuse me, that's Rivera. And now the ball in a scrum in the middle of the pitch right in front of the net, but they get it out. Now it's Che on a run. And again, we're still seeing this offensive push from the Patriots.
A little missed ball handling there.
And that'll be off Roby and out of bounds. Oh, Jamison saves it. Jamison across, and now we're going to go down to our sideline reporter, Garrett Baguette.
Colton Corey has been taken out of the game due to an injury. He is still leading on the sideline, trying to calm Valor down as they've got a little amped up and a little frustrated.
Corner here. And I believe we're going to have that taken by Carson Temby. Big leg. Great control of the ball down that corner. He's got to try to put it on somebody's head and try to get in the net. He'll walk over the ball. 32-14 remaining.
You know, he is beautiful at his set pieces, and I've never seen somebody be able to control their corner kicks the way that Carson Temby has the ability to.
And he launches it in here. Oh, it finds the head of, I believe that was Grizzle, but he couldn't find the net off the head. Or maybe they're going to say this is going to be another corner for Valor Christian. Jamison setting to take this one. So that must have bounced off of the head of a George Washington defender. So Valor Christian will give it another go as Jamison, high ball towards the back post. And that is too far. And Murphy down there with Temby working for it. And that'll be off Murphy and a throw-in for Valor Christian.
You know, on those corner kicks, it does make it hard for those referees to be able to tell which it's going to be, whether a goal kick or a corner kick on that ball that went out there. You know, in high school soccer, we have more of a hybrid line judge, and they're acting more as a second and third field judge as well, instead of being just their normal flag line judge.
As we see the mounting pressure here, George Washington, that's number 12, Rabaka, he's bringing it in. Oh, good ball into the middle, but Giedig is there to play it away. First time I've called his name. And a throw-in coming for the Patriots. Number 6, Daniel Lopez will take it, the junior. He'll play it back to Bellows. He tries to set something up, and he'll play a long high ball down to Giedig, and Giedig hits it off his head and can't do it. And it'll be a Valor goal kick.
Goal kick to the Eagles.
Georgiopolis here. Getting set to send it long. And that'll be a long shot on by Pitt Shea, well wide. So Valor Christian will have another goal kick opportunity here. Is a sub coming on for George Washington. Off comes Hamadi Shabani, and on comes Matt Garcia.
What number came on?
Number 14.
In the lineup for George Washington, number 14, Matt Garcia.
Jamison has it here, tries to control it. Looks for someone to go. Gita going up the line. Hillis looks for something to do. Where it continues to dribble across the field. Still looking for something to do, and now he'll play it off a George Washington defender. And it'll be a Valor throw, and Dawes will take it.
That was very good by Spencer Jamison there, taking it from the air back down to the ground, because here, as any soccer player knows, once it's up in the air, heading it around, it starts ricocheting. You have no idea who will come out with the ball in the end, so props to Spencer Jamison for taking it back down to the ground and regaining possession by the Eagles.
Oh, a throw-in for Valor Christian. George Washington does not like that, and they'll go quickly. That's going to go up towards Kradzinski. But Rivera's there to play it out, and it'll be another throw-in, again going to be taken by Dawes. Dawes is going to go straight to the middle of the field. As we have another piece ready here from Garrett Baguette on the sideline.
Valor's not using the width of the field as well as they did in the first half, and they aren't getting as many long balls and as many breakaways as they did.
And we're back here as the kick comes from the George Washington defender and towards the middle of the field, and now we'll see some pressure here, and a great chip up to Che. Sands is there, but Che comes away with the ball, and then Sands gets the ball back on a missed touch there from Pitt Che. Kradzinski sends it towards Grizzle. Grizzle on a run. Oh, and it'll be cleared out there by number 5, Gabe Torres.
It's barely too big of a touch there, allowing that George Washington defender to step in and just poke that ball out of bounds, saving them a large break opportunity for the Valor Christian Eagles.
27:35 remaining here. Throw in to come from Dawes. He's around the 15-yard line on the football field. So that puts him at 25 yards out from the end line. Dawes looks for somewhere to go, sends it in the middle. That's played by a George Washington defender, but it's going to be controlled. Oh, and a bicycle. Oh, and the header there by Hillis, I believe. Excuse me, that was Bodie, and Bodie headed it over, but a great bicycle effort by, I believe, Kradzinski, the sophomore forward for Valor Christian. That was a creative attack there, and they keep doing that. One of them's going to find the back of the net as Pitt Shea comes off. And I believe number 13, Michael Abraha, comes in for him. As George Washington comes out with control up the far sideline. Putting some pressure on. Oh, and Sands saves it there. Would have been a great opportunity for Luis Ruiz, the captain, the midfielder, senior for the Patriots. They play it to the middle of the field. Pressure mounting for the Patriots. Valor Christian trying to get rid of it. They'll play it up the sideline to Murphy. Murphy has an opportunity to send it in, and he'll send it off Dawes. Dawes isn't happy that he didn't get the throw-in call, so we'll see a throw-in from Ruiz.
Taking their sweet time on the throw-in here.
Get it to Murphy. Murphy on the end line. And that's going to be a foul on Dawes, I believe. So that'll be a set piece from an odd position, kind of like a short corner.
He started to go for the cards. Let's see if the main referee goes for it.
Yeah, and that'll be a yellow card for Dawes. So Dawes will find himself in the book.
Yes, he will.
And
I don't know if I completely agree with that call. It seems as though they just got tangled up, but we are looking at it from a very far angle.
Dawes comes off. Cooper Youngs goes in. Valor Christian two-person wall set up. Again, kind of an odd position for the set piece down that corner, so it kind of makes it a short corner kick, but I don't know if that's necessarily advantageous because you got to kind of chip it up if you want to get in front of the net, especially with the wall right there. So we'll see how they try to play this. Number 3's taking it. That's Bello, and he goes straight into the wall just to let it go out for the corner kick.
Not a bad idea. Scoot it back and get a larger angle on it.
Yeah, I can definitely understand why they would go after that. That was a smart play there from the senior. And he'll take this one and chip it in towards Murphy, but it's going to be headed out by James Neal. And booted out by Jamison. And Valor Christian will be on the chase. That's Young's. Young's showing a good burst of speed, but it'll be controlled back in their own half. And George Washington tries to mount it again. And George Washington again. This is Bello looking for something to do with it. Gets it up to Abraha. And played back to Georgopoulos, who boots it.
You know, this kickball style clear really does get you out of trouble in the immediate, but oftentimes it's just going to give it right back to your opponent.
And Jamison is going to find himself with a yellow card here. And
referee going wild with the bookings now.
Yeah, Jamison doesn't like that at all. And coming on now for Valor Christian is number 5, Brendan Clark for Jamison. But Jamison will quickly find his way back on the field. You can't have him out. He's just too fast. You know, he can do too much for you. And Jamison is not happy about that booking.
I bet you can guarantee that they will be trying to get Spencer Jamison back into the game as soon as possible after that yellow card.
And now we're seeing one of the referees go talk to the goalie. The goalie wasn't entirely sure what that was about. That referee he was the one on the questionable call, and now he's going to go talk to the head referee. That referee's made himself a part of the game, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Oh, and in, but Georgopoulos will pick it up and collect it, and we'll see if Valor tries to mount a counterattack. Oh, a great punt there to Grizzle. Finds Grizzle's feet, but Rivera's there.
That was a great idea by Grizzle in that attempt at the ball handling.
And Grizzle's still on the ball here, and he'll win
nice.
it to the feet of Clark. Clark looking for something to do with it, and it'll be roll out as Torres let it roll out for the throw.
Very nice stop.
Oh, and thought that was an excellent play there. Really a lot of hustle out of Carson Temby to come and get it, but it played off his chest out of bounds before he could boot it back in.
That's a great effort late in the game here to come back and still hustle for every ball and trying to cut them off on the throw-ins like that.
That's off ahead. Grizzle tries to win it. Oh, and they'll call a foul as Grizzle's feet got tangled up there with Daniel Lopez. And we have another piece on the sideline with Garrett Baguette.
Valor's getting very, very impatient because they're looking to score really bad to get this game all tied up.
And thanks again for another insightful piece from Baguette, as that's booted out by George Washington for a goal kick for Valor Christian. The only thing separating these two teams right now is the phantom goal off the crossbar, as the George Washington Patriots lead your Valor Christian Eagles 2-1, 23:03 remaining. Here in Georgopoulos gets set to take the goal kick. He'll play it straight up the center of the field.
You know, I do regretfully admit that I wasn't able to see that goal, but it does sound very questionable in what I've heard.
Possession right in front. Oh, and they try to do something with it. The Patriots do, but that's good defense by Valor Christian. Bodie sends it up, and Grizzle tries to chase it as it's booted out there by the defender, Rivera. Sands has it. Abraha with the pressure. George Washington's done a better job of possessing the ball this half compared to the first half. That's something Valor Christian really dominated, but George Washington used their speed to put pressure on in the first half, but now they're controlling it, and Valor Christian really hasn't had that many great opportunities here in the second half. And a set piece for the Patriots coming. That'll be number 2, Murphy, the junior.
I would like to point out that this George Washington coach has been pacing the sidelines much like a basketball coach, working those referees, getting as many calls for their own as they can. You often see players and other assistant coaches for the George Washington team throwing up their hands in the "it's good" signal, saying that they disagree with what's happening on the field.
That set piece will be controlled out of the box by Valor Christian. But Murphy again with the ball, and he'll send it in off Grizzle, I believe. And getting set to come back into the game for the Valor Christian Eagles is Dawes. And coming in for the George Washington Patriots, we have number 16. That is Dante Segura and Pitt Che.
Number 16, Dante Segura. For the Eagles, returning number 11, Andrew Dawes.
Off the field is Abraha for the George Washington Patriots, and Cooper Youngs comes off for Valor Christian. Throw-in coming here for George Washington. It's a pretty crisp night for the beginning of September, wouldn't you say, Mitch?
Yes, it is very cold, and it got cold early today.
That throw-in goes long off the head of Sands, right back out, so they'll do it again.
Curtis Giles, the junior from George Washington.
Chad looking to do something with it. A lot of footwork over there, but Dawes keeps it in and gets it up to Grizzle. Now we'll have an opportunity. Brendan Clark going on a run. The through ball, waiting for it. Oh, he was offside, so he's going to have to shut down his run. It was a great opportunity, but the through ball wasn't off in time.
Struck a little hard and a little too late with that number 4 coming back on defense to catch up with Grizzle. It was a good attempt, though.
The punt here, that'll be controlled by Temby right off Roby Bodie. He'll get it up towards Kredzinski. And now the counter here. Oh, number 14 wide open, streaking down the middle of the field, but he's just going to put a long shot on that can be easily controlled. I'm not sure about the thinking behind that. I believe that shot came off the foot of Ismail Marbuka. And Valor Christian putting something together here. Hillis looking for somewhere to go. 19-19 remaining as Roby Bodie controls it. Giedig down the wing. Way to stretch the field by the defender, and he's going to put something on as Bodie makes a run at it, but that's going to be long and a goal kick.
That was a nice run. The angle was just a little too sharp to be able to catch that ball before it goes out of bounds.
And we'll see the goal kick taken by a defender here for George Washington.
Valor students getting into it again.
Oh, an opportunity here as James Neal tries to control it, and it's won by Che, and Che will put something on, and it's stopped by Georgopoulos.
Very nice save by Georgopoulos on this natural turf here. Goalkeepers have a very hard time because the ball can either skip or it can reverse the spin and just shoot off the turf. It's very hard to judge whether the spin will speed it up or slow it down, so oftentimes you will be going to the ground.
Roby Bodie looking for something to do. He goes across the pitch to Brendan Clark. He's going to run that down before it goes out of bounds. Pressure mounting for Valor Christian. Oh, and it'll be a throw-in for Valor Christian, so they're going to keep the attack on, but with a little less steam here. Giedig will take it. He's going to throw it in, I believe, back to, that looks to be Temby.
Giedig was one of my former teammates when I was still playing soccer, and he's a great kid to play with, and he's just a lot of fun and positive attitude on the field.
Flicked on to the feet of Clark, but he can't control it. James Neal will get it. Tries to keep it in the zone. Good pass there to Temby, and it'll be slid out. Good defensive play there by Lopez to get it out. The throw-in to be taken by Temby. Temby looks somewhere to go, finds Clark. He flicks it on to Grizzle in front, but Grizzle loses his footing, and George Washington finally gains possession and clears it, and they're going to have a counterattack here led by Marbuka, and he gets it up to, I believe that's Garcia on the far wing. And that'll be off a George Washington player, but they'll keep it in. Play it back to the defender, Rivera. Push to the center of the field. Oh, and that's misplayed by Dawes. But Neal's there. So Valor Christian tries to do something with it. Dawes here. Struggling with number 3. That's Bello, and that'll be a foul on Dawes, so it'll be a free kick for the Patriots of George Washington.
I'll call it back a few steps after playing the play-on rule after keeping possession with George Washington.
This is going to be sent into the box by Murphy. Good leg there. Georgopoulos doesn't know what to do. A head on it, but it's not near the goal, and it'll be cleared out for Valor Christian. As now they're trying to put a counterattack on. Grizzle leads the charge, but it's deflected. Now we have Bodie. He's going to go down the wing looking for something to do with it. He controls it. Oh, great move there from the nutmeg. And a tough tackle, and Bodie's not happy about that at all. And now they're going to call offsides on Valor Christian, and Bodie is talking to the referee. This referee has made himself a part of the game, unfortunately. He's been on the scene of a couple different calls tonight.
It's tough to say this being a Valor student, but to me it did look like a fair challenge as he did get the ball first, and it was just following through when he hit Bodie.
Yeah, Bodie certainly was not pleased with that result. And we have another piece ready from Baguette.
I feel like Valor's coach Schultz said that they need to refocus and attack more. They need to stretch the field a little bit more and get some more runs. It seems like they're always either on the right side or the left side.
Johnny! Pick up the pace. Let's go.
This will be a very long-distance set piece.
So we'll have Temby take it and send Sands up. Sands a pretty tall player for Valor Christian, so they're probably going to try to use his head here. Valor's going to stack near the left side of the field and then break towards the middle as this free kick flies in. Great opportunity here, 14:25 remaining. And Temby will readjust the ball, has to bring it back about a yard. And as they charge the goal, there it is. It's in. And that'll be a goal kick. Valor Christian was looking for it. That'll be Jamison coming back on for Valor Christian, as well as Shabani McKella. And one other player, I believe that's number 17, Max Piper, coming on.
With a little over 10 minutes to go in the half, we're winding down on Valor's time, and that window is slowly closing, but it is closing.
Yeah, they really started to put a lot of more pressure on, take some more risk, bring some backs up into the attacking zone and trying to make something happen. Oh, a long ball played into Che, and he has to take a couple steps to control it before putting it on. It's wide. That was a great ball.
That is a great through ball, but Connor Georgopoulos had no doubt in his mind that one was going wide. He didn't even make an attempt at diving for that one. He knew it was so wide.
Yeah, Che, if he didn't have to take a couple touches to control it, probably would have had a great goal-scoring opportunity and would have probably shut the door on Valor Christian here. 12:44 remaining in the game. Georgopoulos sends it up the field towards Clark. Clark heads it on, but cleared out there by Daniel Lopez. So now it's controlled by Bodie. He'll try to flick it up towards Jamison, but he can't. Shabani with it. He cuts it back towards the middle. Working on Dawes, but Dawes wins the ball there. He'll look for something to do with it, but loses it to Murphy. And that's a long shot on, but well wide. George Washington's taking a lot of those in the second half. really never tried to put anything of real pressure on. Just continues to kind of flick it on from 20 to 30 yards out, and those aren't really that dangerous of a shot. Can be easily be controlled by Georgiopolis, who will take a goal kick here.
When these George Washington midfielders see Connor playing at more of a higher up place than most goalkeepers would tend to be, they think they have the possibility of what's called roofing the keeper and just shooting a nice high floater over it and maybe dropping it in behind his head.
Yeah, a little drop shot they're thinking, but they've been well off the mark multiple times. Georgiopolis real athletic back there. He can afford to kind of come up, play as a real high keeper, try to clear some balls out that get through the defense. And this will be a throw-in for for George Washington.
It's beginning to get tough to tell whether the referees are officiating this game or the George Washington players are. It seems like they're calling it every time after the Patriots forwards are throwing their hands up.
Murphy puts it in. And, onto the back post. Oh, Che right in front. Oh! And that'll go off the crossbar and off the goal crossbar or the soccer goal, off the crossbar of the football upright and back into play. So that's a dead ball. That shot had some venom on it from Mitt Che, and he showed why he's such a dangerous attackman here.
That is a great call by the referees, is sometimes playing on these multi-purpose fields with the football uprights as well as the soccer goals on the same field. It can get confusing what crossbar it hit, if it hit a crossbar, or whatever is happening on the field.
Again, most of this half has been played down in Valor's end, and they're going to have to make an adjustment, and they're doing that here with bringing in forward Kradzinski as well as a midfielder with some legs. That's Cooper Youngs. So they're trying to do something, bring some speed on, give themselves a little more attacking ability. I imagine they'll probably be bringing up Dawes, maybe Hillis here as that ball squeaks to the middle, but it cleared out by Valor Christian. Down in that corner, that's number 7, Ruiz. He's looking for something to do with it. And he's way down in that corner, and it'll be off Valor Christian for the corner kick.
Corner kick to George Washington.
So Ruiz will walk over and take his time, a little bit of gamesmanship with 9:12 remaining in this. Valor Christian down by 1.
Senior midfielder, possibly his last season of at least high school soccer.
And he'll send this ball to the middle of the box, and Georgiopolis will control it, and we'll see what Valor can do on the counter, but he'll just push everyone up and wait to send the punt off. And he'll punt it down towards Jameson, over Jameson's head, and that's number 4, Curtis Guile, that controls it. And that's pushed up by a midfielder, but it'll be played by Georgiopolis out, and that's one of the advantages of him playing so high in the box a lot, is he can come out and clear those and end the threat. As that's off Hillis, and now Valor Christian with a chance. Bodie sends it across the far sideline, and that's going to be chased down by Temby, but Curtis Guile will get there first and clear it out, and it'll be a Valor throw-in.
Another suggestion would for the Eagles to be working on the angles of their long ball and through balls to better help out.
In for number 5, Clark, and Kradzinski comes in for captain, junior, number 15, Paul Grizzle. And they're fighting for it down in the corner. That's Bodie, and he'll pick it up immediately for the throw-in. He'll play it back towards Temby. Temby looks for something to do with back to Bodie in the corner, looking for an opportunity to cross it. Curtis Guile there, and that'll be a foul on Bodie, and it'll be a free kick, 7:39 remaining in the game.
Emotions are flying high by the Eagle forwards, seeming desperate to find this equalizing goal here.
And we have another shot from Baguette here.
Valor needs to come out with the sense of fire that they came out in the beginning of the first or second half. It seems like now they're just kind of playing to get the game over with instead of winning.
Number 12 coming on for the Patriots of George Washington. That's number 12, Hamadi Shabani. And he'll take his time getting on as Hamadi Shabani's coming off. Coming in as Ishmael Marbuka. And Shabani taking his time coming off. A little bit of gamesmanship as Marbuka takes a long while to give her that throw in. 6:35 remaining. Valor down by 1. The separating factor, the phantom goal off the off the crossbar.
With the limited time left in the half, this may very well be some of the last substitutions we will see in this game.
And that ball was meant to be played over to Hillis, and he'll win it to Youngs, and now we got something going. Oh, and that'll go through to a great ball there, the Jamison. Jamison down the sideline. His speed's just too great. Now he's going to look to cross it. Oh, and it'll go out. A long touch. He took too long. He had a great run going there.
Eagles are waiting too long to get way down by the tee to make their cross. Might as well take it right when you get to the 18-yard line, as long as you have the other numbers up front to help you with the attack.
Neal coming off, so a defender coming off, and forward coming on in Grizzle. So Valor Christian making some offensive changes here. One by Temby to Grizzle. Oh, and they're going to call an elbow on Temby. He's not happy about that. I didn't see much of that at all.
Looked as though it was a clean, straight-up jump to head it right back to his own teammate. That was a beautiful play by Temby.
And now Bello selling it on the back of his head to maybe validate the call by the referee.
Might as well take a knee and wait for the sub with how much groaning he's making on this play.
Number 5, Torres. He'll send that right in front of the 18. Roby looking for it. Can't find it. Bicicleta out of number 3.
Looked as though it was more of a half bike there and wasn't quite sure.
To reference our friend Greg Papaleeson with the Bicicleta. And we'll see Valor Christian with a throw or a kick here. Valor Christian running out of time, 4:36 remaining, no stoppage time. So they get what they get. As Sands plays a long ball up, and that'll be on. Oh, and Roby Bodie tried to make a header on the bounce. That was dangerous.
Testing out the vertical of that Patriot goalkeeper down at his end.
Oh, Grizzle, no, he had a bad pass there, and he feels it. Now Mitch Shea with an opportunity. He has number 7, Rees, right there, and he'll play that ball over to Rees. Rees cuts it back in, looks to take the shot, plays it to his left, and he'll have a long touch, and that'll be a Valor Christian goal kick.
That would have completely shut the door here.
3:47 remaining. Valor Christian has a little bit of urgency here. And now the slow substitution as Mitt Shea comes off.
Lots of discussion going on between Bodie and the head referee here.
Bodie does have a little bit of a chatty mouth there, especially when he was on the pitch, always lobbying the referees. And that'll be a handball on Temby. Played it with his forearm, and that'll be quickly played there by George Washington. And Valor Christian saying they're wasting time looking for a card or something. And that's sent towards the goal. Dawes back there, and Georgopoulos comes out and controls it.
Georgopoulos showing great dominance from the goalkeeper position.
Back to Dawes, 3 minutes remaining. And he'll play a long ball to Giedig, and Giedig can't get there, so that's a waste of possession there.
An attempt at switching fields here, but instead they'll just turn the ball over on a throw-in.
Che comes back on for Matt Garcia. Valor Christian, a lot of urgency here. Youngs looking for it, finds Bodie. Bodie tries to immediately play it, but it's deflected right to the feet of Youngs. Youngs to Jamison. Jamison at the corner of the 18. He looks for something to do with it. Gets it down in the corner. Looks for somewhere to go. Lots of footwork there, and that'll be a Valor Christian corner kick. So Valor has an opportunity here with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left. Valor Christian needs to find who's going to take it and send somebody over there in a hurry. Jamison hustles, gets into the corner. Oh, he's just going to play it short there to Carson Temby. Temby puts a cross on. Now Jamison's going to have to run this down, gets it back over to Dawes in the center of the field. Dawes plays it through defender's leg. Dawes puts a long shot on. Oh, it's off the woodwork! And this will be a Valor Christian corner kick off the save. That is tipped and then off the woodwork for George Washington. 1:42 remaining. Dawes had a wonderful shot on from 30 yards out. Now they're looking for something to do, and a foul on Valor Christian. They're calling a push.
Bodies are falling every which way. I have no idea which way I would have called the foul on that if I was the referee.
And now that's going to be a card on Temby. Temby talking to the referee. That referee continues to make himself felt in this game. So Valor Christian's going to have to send somebody on for Temby here, and I think they're going to send Carvajal.
If my tally is right, I believe that will make 5 bookings on the night for just the Eagles.
Yeah, Temby is really upset. The captain, Valor Christian has 4 captain, but he's really probably the most senior of those, and he's going to come right back into the game. But luckily the clock stopped, but he's really upset with himself, upset with how things are going. And that's booted long, played back up by Sands. Valor Christian looking for something to do. Bodie, and Rivera comes in heavy, and now he'll get the foul.
Bookings are flying in every direction except for the Patriots.
And now we're going to see Sands with his expert placement here, looking for something to do. 58 seconds remaining. Sands in the middle of the pitch. It's headed in! Valor Christian has equalized with 52 seconds left. That is off the head of Roby, Bodie, and they're calling offsides. Offsides on Bodie, and he gets his second yellow. He just lost it on the referee. And now another yellow from the referee. He's sending off Cooper Young. That referee has had his 7th booking of the night. Valor Christian is livid. Not sure how you're going to call offsides on a long ball like that. You don't have the angle to even see when the ball is kicked. That referee has done a poor job tonight.
This is why I would suggest for Chasta to go back to having the normal main referee in the middle and then 2 line judges as well, focusing just on offsides and out of bounds calls, because there's just too much action going on when you're focusing on both duties at the same time.
Yeah, he's obviously felt himself so swamped he needs to start just throwing yellows around like it's candy on Halloween.
Yes, he does, Landon.
And now another opportunity from George Washington, cleared out there by Giedig. And Clark will go get the ball for George Washington, so they can't waste time. 31 seconds remaining. So that referee down, he's directly at the 50 right now. He's been doing the south half of the field. He was the one who credited the goal to George Washington as they make a substitution here. The goal off the crossbar, and he's the one who's dished out more yellow cards than just about any referee I've ever seen in a soccer match without there being some sort of absurd brawl. And he's the one who just called that interesting offsides on Valor Christian. 18 seconds remaining. George Washington has the ball in their zone. And
it does raise the question if this referee is.
And now a lot of time wasting here from George Washington, as they're just going to stand there and waste their time. So Valor Christian will lose here. 3 seconds remaining, and it's over. And that's going to be a card on George Washington, but it's not going to be of anything, as he's going to have to probably blow this dead. And another card for Jamison. And he kicks him out of the game. So that's more from the referee.
Jamison getting a standing ovation by the George Washington team, walking back to his bench.
And so Valor Christian falls to 2-2 on the year. So they're about to whistle this game dead. And George Washington celebrates. Valor Christian falls to 2-2. Really a tough game here with the with officiating, and Bodie getting some more words in as Valor Christian falls to 2-2. You're watching the Valor Sports Network.